One of the most hotly contested series in the entire country resumes this weekend as 2-3 Texas Tech takes on 2-3 Baylor down at McLean Stadium in Waco on Saturday. The reason I say hotly contested, obviously, is simple. The two teams have a series history, that stretches back almost 100 years. Baylor just edges the entire series by a close 41-39 margin. Going back over the last 20 games, Texas Tech, holds a slim 11-9 advantage. And over the last 7, Baylor again edges it 4-3. So on any given Saturday, historically, not much separates either of these two sides. And with a spread of just -1 on Baylor ahead of this weekend, it looks like the books are expecting more of the same as well. In terms of Texas Tech, look, it's hard not to be impressed with the season Taj Brooks is having at running back. First Red Raider since DeAndre Washington back in 2015 to put together back-to-back games of 140-plus yards. And he ranks top 10 in the country right now in total rushing yards as well. So his input could be key here, especially considering Baylor have clearly struggled on the ground over the last few starts. The Bears gave up 235 yards on the ground against UCF last week, 224 against Utah a few weeks ago as well, 175 against Texas. So there are definitely ways this Red Raider run game can take advantage this weekend against the Bears on the ground. Saying that, however, Baylor definitely have weapons of their own at their disposal ahead of this one, especially through the air. Blake Shapen came back from injury last week against UCF, led a phenomenal fourth quarter comeback for the Bears in that game. Baylor were down 35-10 heading into the fourth quarter before, Shapen put together back-to-back 2-point conversions, touchdowns for the Bears over the final 12 minutes of action and finished the game with almost 300 total yards as well. To inspire the comeback. So the Bears definitely have options in attack. Monterey Baldwin at wide receiver ranks 14th in the nation this year in yards per catch. But, this Texas defense is nothing to be trifled with. A lot was expected from the Red Raiders prior to the season. And for the most part, they haven't disappointed. They lead the Big 12 right now in opponent explosive plays. Only 11 plays allowed of 20 or more yards entering last week's game against Houston. And that extends to top 20 nationally as well. So it'll be interesting to see if, Blake Shapen and co can find success this week against an on-paper, underappreciated Red Raiders defense in this one. Another interesting tidbit for this game as well is that both of these teams ranked 1 and 2 respectively last year in total fourth down conversions per game. Texas Tech have barely, took a back step, let their foot off the gas pedal this year either. They currently sit second behind only Army in that bracket. So we know both Joey McGuire and Dave Aranda are two of the most offensively aggressive coaches in the whole of college football. Will that extend to this weekend? Probably so. And on a side note, Baylor converted 63.8% of all their fourth down conversion attempts last season, which was good for a top 12 spot nationally. So, with this being a big conference rivalry game, with the fact both offenses have found a ton of success since the change of quarterback as well, I just can't see that level of defense striking twice in back-to-back games against Baylor here. UCF were almost perfect for 3 quarters of that game last week, something that as much of a fan as I am of this Red Raiders defense, I think they'll have a hard time replicating here. So I do believe both teams, are more than capable of putting up a ton of points in this one. And with two coaches who are as offensively minded on fourth down as McGuire and Aranda are, that only adds to the over spot in this one. So over 57 from me. I quite like the price there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Looking forward to reading a few of those. And you can also take advantage of code DOLAN7, DOLAN7, which is going on right now to knock $20 off a 7-day all-access pass over at Wager Talk. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the content, hit that like button and subscribe down below. And for even more great betting previews, be sure to click on one of the other links posted on your screen right now.